Tylenol was taking me under. It was arthritis strength. That stuff I'd never seen. Just Tylenol can take you under. That stuff was taking me under. But the pain was very bad. And, we were doing the morning program every day here, getting up early to chant before Mangalartik and then doing Mangalartik. And so everything was so good. And then Maya got me. She said, you keep saying you're not in your body, prove it. And as those body pains came, I thought, oh my God. And I'm not going to bother Mother Sangeeta today because she teaches me how to deal with pain. I don't see how she does it, but I just started chanting. And when I was chanting, I was thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen at the time of death? This isn't as big as it's going to get, and I'm all thrown off now. What's going to happen? And so I began to reflect and meditate and pray and, did my thing, and time passed, my strength became better, but my appreciation for the process, for the shelter that was there. Even when I was feeling bad, I remember when I wasn't chanting japa, Krishna was so kind. He started letting me chant in my head. And I didn't put it on automatic pilot, it just happened. I thought, whoa, Krishna, thank you. I could hear his name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I also was thinking this morning, I was looking back in retrospect, that we've come a long way. I don't remember the first time, I started doing this program. I think initially we started having Bhagavatam schedules and everyone would give class, and on Wednesdays, Vishnu Gadadhar Prabhu would do Chaitanya Charitamrita, and on Saturdays I would do japa. And it was difficult to find a group fixed on chanting the holy name nicely, because chanting japa is a very advanced situation. It's so serious. Sure, we as neophytes, we're down here trying to chant, but chanting Hare Krishna is for people who want to be serious. When you get the gift of the spiritual master, you get the holy name. And the holy name is so powerful that the first thing it does, as it's purifying us, it enables us to reestablish our relationship with Krishna. What to speak of the purified devotee who has his original identity revealed to him as his subtle body becomes completely washed away by the pure name. So it's just amazing. We read these things, but to actually get glimpses and flashes that, oh, this is true. This is not a story, okay? This is the reality of chanting Hare Krishna. So as you know, we started going through the Shikshastika prayers, and that is very enlivening to me, because just like the holy name is everything, when you really get down to chanting Hare Krishna, it's what Lord Chaitanya came with his associates, the Panchatattva. They came, and when Krishna came on a battlefield of Kurukshetra, he came with his associates, but he had his weapons, and his weapons, Arjuna was a big weapon. Just Karna kill him, as Bhishma kill him, and from the Gita, Krishna explains why he comes. But when Lord Chaitanya comes, he comes with that same killing mentality, but he wants to kill the demonic mentality that has overtaken us in our discharge of devotional life. It's robbed us. So he dissipates that. He just says, now just take this Maha Mantra. So we chant the mantra. And as I said, I don't know when we started. I think it's maybe 9 months ago or something. But the transformation, I even see the change in you, because it's not that I was trying to get a book club going. No, I was always trying to take the pulse and find what it would take to enable us to chant the holy name. And so anyway, I found some things during the week. But as we chant Hare Krishna, oftentimes we don't find the reciprocation we're looking for. I'm chanting my rounds and they talk about the sweetness of the holy name, but I'm not experiencing it. I'm experiencing dryness, and so many things. And in my daily reading, I read for a few hours daily. And my daily reading, I had stopped that also with my guru. I came to a point in Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh my God. I really should share that with you. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do that. But the one thing I can tell you is that I hope you brought your kit with you today, your toolkit, your Japa toolkit. I know it's imaginary, but that toolkit can hold so many things if we open it up properly. Now, remember, when we started, we went to the Japa Reform, but we also went to the Japa book. And in that Japa book, we found some keys. And what were those keys for? Those keys were for the Shikshastika. There were 9 keys for the Shikshastika prayers. So my question is, do you remember those keys? Those keys are powerful. We're back at the Shikshastika. Do you remember the keys? Now I'm going to throw some of the keys out there. The first key, the most important key, what is it?
Chant Hare Krishna.
Mother Ranika, I told you that those books you got, those books were powerful because those are powerful devotees. Those devotees are servants of the holy name. Okay, the first book is to chant Hare Krishna. The first key is to chant Hare Krishna. And the second key, Drona, you remember this key because it's the transformation of our japa. One mantra at a time. That was Boy John. The first time I heard that, I was like, oh no, he didn't slow down my japa. This is not going to work for me. It's just not working for me. No, I felt like that. And but Krishna said, okay, hold on, Tiger. He said, the third key.
State your determination.
Sankalpa. You state that determination. I'm going to sit down here and I'm going to chant the first 4 rounds. The first 4 rounds I'm going to chant. I'm not going to get up and get water. I'm not going to move things off the desk. I'm just going to sit here with the determination to chant the first 4 of my 16. One mantra at a time. I'm going to listen to Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. So we tell ourselves that. And then 4th key is that we Yatonis Chalati.
From wherever the mind wanders.
That's Yatonis Chalati. Wherever the mind wanders, due to unsteady frequency, bring it back. This key. Just be detached. It's a big one because we're expecting something, so we have to be detached. Because if I'm attached, it's just not working. 6th key.
Neglect the mind.
Wow. The mind is interesting because the only thing it doesn't take your body, it's suggested, but the mind can steal the very essence of you. Because when we're calling Krishna consciousness means to be conscious, to be aware of Krishna. So the mind, what does it take? It takes our consciousness. It takes our awareness. And what about the groceries that you're supposed to? You didn't make the grocery list. Take the laundry downstairs. Take it downstairs. It's snatching your consciousness. And so when the consciousness goes, we go. And if Krishna would come show, we're not there. We're not there. But the seventh key is bringing
Humility.
us to the third Shastika, and that's humility. That seventh key is powerful because Lord Chaitanya says we have to chant in that humble state of mind. We'll see if we get there today. And that eighth key is
Namashraya.
taking shelter at the lotus feet of the holy name. And the last, that ninth key is to
Krishna's causeless mercy.
oh God, I can't do it. It's nothing that I can do. I've got my kit, I've got the right association, I've got the book, I've got the beads. I'm doing it right, but I'm not tasting, I'm not breaking through because I need Krishna's causeless mercy. And causeless means we did nothing to deserve it, but we wait. We wait. And by waiting for his causeless mercy, you know, seeing that the problems that we experienced, it's just a reflection of our past sinful deeds. But, you know, to that sincere person, liberation becomes our rightful claim. Okay, I got to stop, you know. And the thing is, so anyway, we did so many different things, and we did them because I couldn't feel the pulse. But I want you to know that now we have to move more towards it is time. It is time to rehabilitate the fallen soul, the broken relationship. It is time to reestablish a determination that, yes, I can do this. Yes, I want to come together with the devotees and call out your name. And you know, I mean, I'm excited. But you know, I used to get chastised for saying that. Ravinder Dhru said, "Don't get excited. Say enthusiastic." You get excited and then you feel dejected. But the real thing is that I'm inspired by the fact that we get this time to come together. So I can go back, you know, but it's really, I found something this week, and it's so subtle, it's so simple. You know, we all are used to hearing the Gita and the different verses from the Gita. But when I was reading in the Bhagavatam, you know, the verse was Yayatam. What is the verse? The verse the essence of it, Yayata Mam Prapajante Tamstatava Bijam That the essence of that verse came up when Brahma was speaking to his son, to Narada, you know, and it was just so amazing to me, and a certain purport how Srila Prabhupada, and you just gotta love Srila Prabhupada, you know, what he does for us. So let me see if I have it here. Oh yeah, I do, okay. I'm just gonna, before we go further, I'm just gonna set the mood. This is in purport in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said that the transcendental name, form, qualities, pastimes, paraphernalia, personality, etc., cannot possibly be perceived by the gross materialistic senses. But when the senses are purified by the process of hearing, chanting, remembering, and worshiping the lotus feet of the holy deity, etc., the Lord reveals himself proportionately to the advancement of the quality of the devotional service. One should not expect the Lord to be an order supplying agent who must be ready to undergo the prescribed, who must be present before us as soon as we desire to see him. We must be ready to undergo the prescribed devotional duties, following the path shown by the predecessors, and the disciplic succession from Brahma, Narada, and similar authorities. As the senses are progressively purified by bona fide devotional service, the Lord reveals his identity according to the spiritual advancement of the devotee. But one who is not in the line of devotional service can hardly perceive him simply by calculations and philosophical speculations. So, such a simple explanation. But he reciprocates proportionately as our quality changes, as our consciousness changes, as our desire to be with him changes. I reward them accordingly. And that's not showing faith, you know. And I just thought that was, and the point of purifying ourselves, we must become purified. If we don't become purified, then how can we perceive the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And he's there in his holy name. Therefore, this brings me back to the fact about the holy name. So I'm going to now go over to the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Anchilila, where we were last week. And this is the very last chapter, chapter 20 in the Chaitanya Charitamrita with the Shastika prayers. But, you know, now I'm going to give you some sweetness, okay? I used to give you
Sweet balls.
verses, excuse me?
Sweet balls.
Exactly, Mother, you remember those sweet balls. But this is so relishable. Get ready, Drona, for the CC. But here is, Lord, this is what is said, and I'm going to read text 1 until we get to, it says, only the most fortunate will relish the mad words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which were mixed with jubilation, envy, agitation, submissiveness, and grief, all produced by ecstatic loving emotions. All glories to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's you guys too. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus resided at Jagannath Puri, Nilachala, that's where we live. We live in Nilachala. He was continuously overwhelmed day and night by separation from Krishna. Ayi Dina, he would chant sometimes. Day and night he tasted transcendental blissful songs and verses with 2 associates, namely Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai. He relished the symptoms of various transcendental emotions, such as jubilation, lamentation, anger, humility, anxiety, grief, eagerness, and satisfaction. He would recite his own verses, expressing their meanings and emotions, and thus enjoy tasting them with these 2 friends. Sometimes the Lord would be absorbed in a particular emotion and would stay awake all night, reciting related verses and relishing their taste. In great jubilation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai, know for me that chanting the holy names is the most feasible means of salvation in this age of Kali. In this age of Kali, the process of worshiping Krishna is to perform sacrifice by chanting the holy name of the Lord. One who does so is certainly very intelligent, and he attains shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Simply, that's the Panchatattva, simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna, one can be freed from the undesirable habits. This is the means of awakening all good fortune and initiating the flow of waves of love for Krishna. And as you know, Mother, Mother Shobharade,
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
just hit it again. That, the first Shastika,
Let there be all victory for the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste full nectar at every step.
By performing congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, one can destroy the sinful condition of material existence, purify the unclean heart, and awaken all varieties of devotional service. The result of chanting is that one awakens his love for Krishna and tastes transcendental bliss. Ultimately, one attains the association of Krishna and engages in his devotional service, as if immersing himself in an ocean of love. Lamentation and humility awoke within Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he began reciting another of his own verses. By hearing the meaning of that verse, one can forget all unhappiness and lamentation. You need the Sanskrit on this one, Drona. Come on, Mother.
Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktish Tatrarpita Niyamita Smarena Nakala Eta Drishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Mitrisham Ihajani Nanu Raga.
Continue, Mother.
My Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name there is all good fortune for the living entity, and therefore you have many names, such as Krishna and Govinda, by which you expand yourself. You have invested all your potencies in those names, and there are no hard and fast rules for remembering them. My dear Lord, although you bestow such mercy upon the fallen, conditioned souls by liberally teaching your holy names, I am so unfortunate that I commit offenses while chanting the holy name, and therefore I do not achieve attachment for chanting.
Did we hear that? Did we hear the problem we're facing? He's invested everything, all of his potencies in these names. There's not even hard and fast rules for chanting. I am so unfortunate that I commit offenses while chanting the holy name, and therefore I do not achieve attachment or chanting. Well, today I'm going to be all over the place. You'll tell me at the end how it worked out. But I'm going to read Amen in Japa. Why we achieve neither attraction for Krishna's name nor the 7 results of chanting. The holy name is all victorious. Why then don't all those who chant quickly achieve these 7 results? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains the reason for this in his second Shashastika sloka. And you just chanted that. Durdaiva means misfortune. In his commentary on Shashastika, and in more detail in his Bhajana Rahasya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur lists the causes of our misfortune, our lack of attraction, despite our chanting of Krishna's holy names. 4 causes of lack of taste. The first of these causes is Tattva Vibhrama. If we only superficially understand the truths, Tattva, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, we become confused, Vibhrama, about how to progress. Therefore, we need knowledge. We need knowledge of a clear understanding of this truth, of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Lacking the spiritual depth to realize just how tiny we are bewilders us into the conviction that we're actually significant. Filled with our own importance, we think the world should revolve around our desires, and we become frustrated and angry when it doesn't. Then mistakenly, the identities of others, we quickly divide them into friends and enemies. So much suffering ensues from all this ignorance. We don't see the spirit soul. He's my friend. I can come close. He's my enemy. Bhagavatam, I should kill him. It's this divided consciousness. That our consciousness becomes captured by false ego proves that we lack self-knowledge. We do not understand that we are Krishna's eternal servants, or that our identity in relationship with him cannot be altered. It's simply who we are. Although being Krishna's eternal servant implies that we have an eternal relationship with him, we nevertheless have turned our back on him and have tried to separate ourselves from this intrinsic relationship. Because of that, we suffer existential emptiness. We are incurably lonely. Aside from not knowing ourselves, we also don't know Krishna. Neither do we deeply understand the prescribed sadhana process. Yes, we chant Hare Krishna, but how deep is our realization and surrender to this practice? We also lack clear understanding of what is favorable and unfavorable to our devotional service. Thus, we tend to do things that hinder our bhakti and fail to do those things that could help. He's just giving that as one. What a long sentence. But can't you? I can see myself. Can you see yourself? Can I see my shortcomings. I see the problem I'm having. I'm better than I was maybe many, many years ago. But cooking with smoke is cooking with smoke. Nothing gets done for real. You have to cook with a flame. Don't choke yourself to death. Aside from not knowing ourselves, we also don't know Krishna. The second cause of our misfortune is a Sat Trishna, thirst for the temporary. Give me stuff, Lord. Give me. I need a good house, a car. I need a partner. I need someone to be attached to. Give me. It's crazy. We thirst for the temporary in four forms. We maintain petty desires for material comforts. We desire heavenly pleasures. We desire mystic powers, control of the material energy by subtle means. And we tend to desire liberation or freedom from suffering. The last anartha appears when, while we're chanting Hare Krishna, our desire to go back to Godhead is strongly motivated by the desire to escape suffering. This attitude is actually self-centered and has little to do with bhakti. The core of it is salvation, not Krishna's satisfaction. The third cause, Hridaya Durbalyam, refers to two related weaknesses: attachment to objects unrelated to Krishna and deceit, fault-finding, envy, and the desire for fame. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur notes that sadhakas should be especially careful of the hankering for fame. Such outpouring of false ego are extremely difficult to eradicate. Finally, the fourth cause of misfortune is aparad. We commit offenses when we chant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Sanatana Goswami, of the 9 processes of devotional service, the most important is to always chant the holy name of the Lord. If one does so, Avoiding 10 kinds of offenses, one very easily obtains the most valuable love of Godhead. CC, Antya 471. So it's nice. It's nice to understand what you're going through. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he breaks it down so nicely. But the nice thing is that not only do we see ourselves, but it's an opportunity to change the situation. And so there is high association. When we associate with those devotees who have that fire of Krishna, Bhajan, Krishna Nam, they have the fire in their hearts of love of God. They're attached to taking shelter and glorification of Krishna, Nam Prabhu. So we take their association. And you think, well, I live here in Philly, we don't have that many visitors. But, sound travels so far. And what to speak of when we pick up these literatures, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction. This, it not only cleanses us, but this is transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge wipes out all the ignorance, but it enables us to establish our relationship. There's nothing so sweet as transcendental knowledge. This is what, according to our studies in Bhagavad Gita, this was Krishna's method, which he gave to the heads of all states, of all planets, to protect the citizens from the onslaught of bondage to lust. By having access of this knowledge, which is above the mundane influences. It's purifying. It purifies the heart. So we need to work on the anarthas and the offenses. We need the knowledge of understanding who we are, tiny, insignificant servants of God, and who we aren't, the boss, the controller. And put ourselves in an environment which is conducive to live like this. We can't come to Japa or come to Bhagavatam class. Okay, now I'm a devotee. I'm a 16-4. Now my rounds are finished and I'm out of class. I can do as I damn well please. No. She tricked you again. She tricked you. You can, because you always have minute independence. But the freedom, the independence is to say, yes, Krishna, I choose you. When Duryodhana and Arjuna came to Krishna before the war was going to start, Duryodhana got there first, and he sat up by Krishna's head, and Arjuna sat at his feet. And when Krishna opened his eyes, he saw Arjuna. So he was the first one he saw. And one could have Krishna's armies, which were vast, powerful, and the other could have Krishna. I'm not fighting. I'm just driving a chariot. Okay. He said, well, I saw Arjuna first. Arjuna said, yes, Krishna, I take you. There's like, yeah, I got the armies. But Krishna, the devotee, we only want Krishna. And he's available. The point is, are we making ourselves available? We have to make ourselves available. That's why we try to cut down the offenses. That's why we're here, so we can see things from Jnana Chakshusha, Shastra Chakshusha, through the eyes of scripture, through the eyes of knowledge. Why? Because we're just hanging around. I know I'm low. I've got bad habits, bad attitude, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. But I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep hanging around. What is that ninth key, Mother? Come on, Rainika.
Detachment. Detachment.
No, detachment is number 5.
Namashraya.
The 9th key.
Namashraya, right?
8th. Namashraya is taking shelter. It's a good one, but it's taking shelter. The 9th key.
Krishna's causeless mercy.
Jesus. Krishna's causeless mercy. Oh, it's Krishna's causeless mercy. It's amazing. We want it. We need it. We're trying to situate ourselves so that we can be available. So that Krishna says, remember, Tadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. He says, even if a person has a spiritual master and he still can't follow his instructions, but he's sincere. That's the difference between us. We would say, oh, he's not sincere. He got a spiritual master. He's not going to follow his instructions. He's just not sincere. But Krishna says, and he is sincere. Because Krishna knows that this divine energy of his, consisting of the 3 modes of material nature, is very difficult to overcome. So Krishna knows that. The devotees say, oh, Krishna, I'm so fallen. Krishna says, from within the heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge, the avidya, that darkness born of ignorance. You know, I hear a Karmi song in my head. I can't help it. But I'm gonna give you a few bars because it's only one person that we can call like this. It says, if you're down and in trouble and you need some love and care and nothing, oh, and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me. And soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. What is the methodology? You just call out my name, and you know, wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call Krishna, and I'll be there. Yes, I will, because you've got a friend. Our constant companion. Let's not get it twisted. This society we have, and I'm just a fallen person. You know, other people just went to the scriptures, but this is who I am. This is where I come from. You know, and Krishna knows I'm trying. So to the best of my ability, I'm going to use whatever I have to express what I'm feeling. And with Krishna, we have a friend. He's there. We have to take shelter. And the most important thing, make ourselves available. We're red hot for Maya. We're ready for Maya. We're just hanging around. So we have to be ready for Krishna. Hear about, do seva. Remember he told Arjuna, Tashmat Veshu Kaleshu Mum Anu Smarya Yujicha Mayarpita Mano Budir. Forget the last word, the last line. He says, therefore, Arjuna, always think of me in the form of Krishna. And at the same time, carry out your prescribed duty. Arjuna's out there fighting people with your activities, dedicated to me. Your mind and intelligence fixed on me. You'll attain me. Krishna said that. We have to get connected. And the best way to get connected is that we make a determination. That determination is a sankalpa. We make a determination that today, I'm going to start seeing devotees as they really are. I'm going to start seeing devotees as rays of Vishnu, because the devotees carry Vishnu, Krishna, within their hearts, and the devotees are givers of Krishna. That's who they are. So since the devotees are like that, I'm going to respect them. I'm going to serve them, das, das, anu, das, because that's we. Okay? Hari, you're like a run-on sentence. Now, where were we at? In the Shishati. I just had the sidebar because it was too much. 16.
Check 16.
Text 17. Oh my God. Here we go. Because people vary in their desires, you have distributed various holy names by your mercy. Now I gotta click on because I don't know when purports are going to come because Bhakti Siddhanta kicks out a few. Regardless of time or space, time or place, one who chants the holy name, even while eating or sleeping, attains all perfection. You have invested your full potencies in each individual holy name, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attachment for chanting your holy names. Well, Hare Krishna, did you hear that one? Maybe I need to see the Sanskrit on that one. Sarva Shakti Name, Dila Kariya Vibhaga, Amada Durdaiva, Ame Nahi Anuraga. What a prayer. You have invested your full potencies in each individual holy name, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attachment for chanting your holy names. I hope we're dropping this stuff in our toolkits. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, O Swarup Damodar Goswami, O Ramananda Rai, hear from me the symptoms of how one should chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to awaken very easily one dormant love for Krishna. Mother, your turn.
Trinadapi suniche na taror iva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord.
So, there you go. There we go. So I have to get back. Let me see. This isn't so easy for me, but I'm trying. You know, my mother gave me a benediction. I always tell you this. She told me when I was young, God takes care of fools and babies. Do not worry, son. You will always be protected. So I am feeling, the protection. I'm feeling that benediction my mother gave me. Because, I'm the worst on the computer. Move it around. So I'm going back to okay, I'm going back to 12. This we need to do daily. I'm so bad now. I used to do these when I was a young man every day. So remember, you either take a copy, you get that back page, you put them together, you paste them, but these are the translations you want. We had different translations, so it took me a long time to get the other ones out of my head. Keto Darpanamarjanam, Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam, Treya Kaivara Chandrika, Vitaranam Vijavidu Jivanam, Anandam Buddhivardhanam, Prachipadam Pranam, Ratashvadanam, Sarvatmasnapanam Param, Vijayate, Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Let there be all victory for the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. You know, I remember it says in the breakdown, it says that the holy name is Krishna, and transcendental knowledge is like the wife. The faithful wife always follows her husband. So along with the holy name comes transcendental knowledge. It's the wife of the life of knowledge. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste full nectar at every step. Okay, I'm getting on. I'm just, as I said, we want to remember this in the toolkit, that you got to put the Shashastika prayers there. And you know, if you just want to go and get extra nectar and feel Lord Chaitanya's mood, where now I'm at Namakari Bahuda Nidra Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamitak Smadane Nakala Etadrishi Tava Pipa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaivam Idrisham Ihanjani Nanuraga. My Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name there is all good fortune for the living entity, and therefore you have many names such as Krishna and Govinda, by which you expand yourself. You have invested all your potencies in those names, and there are no hard and fast rules for remembering them, my dear Lord. Although you bestow such mercy upon the fallen, conditioned souls by liberally teaching your holy names, I am so unfortunate that I commit offenses while chanting the holy name, and therefore I do not achieve attachment for chanting. And the last one, these we put together all the time because these first 3 verses, this is the formula. This is the formula. Trinadapi Sudachena Torah Eva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Siddharthari. And this is so important. One who thinks himself lower than the grass. And you got to think about this sloka, because it sounds like we're pushing low self-esteem, and it's not true. Who is more tolerant than a tree, who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respects to others, can very easily, always chant the holy name of the Lord. This is humility. Just remembering we're from the spiritual world. We're Krishna's eternal servants. And we have spiritual bodies. And we have a function of serving the Supreme Lord for his pleasure. And we're here, stuck in these nasty bodies, on death row, in this nasty place, identifying so strongly with all these different material situations, which make no sense, which have nothing to do with our existence. But we're so sold, we're sold out, we've bought into this. Therefore, why can't we chant in a humble state of mind? I'm low, I'm so low, I can't even realize I'm low. But yet and still, due to the fact that I've been so sinful, I have to tolerate the reactions of my previous activities. Look how patient Krishna is. We have been in this material world for so long, and he's still waiting. He's still sending. He's still coming. He's trying to get us back. Not 10 years, not 100, not 1,000,000. I mean, God knows how long we've been conditioned. but he doesn't give up. This is love. He has love. And if we attempt to reciprocate with him just a little bit, he gets that spark fanned because he loves us from the gate. So remember that. Remember that the holy name is Krishna. And help me remember it. Tell me things. Wake me up. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just need, you know, I hear the end of Prabhupada's prayer. You're my very different, and I miss your association. I need your association so much. There is such a need for devotee association. In our more sober, state, we realize everything else is taking us away. Even extremely Kanishta devotees will take us away because the enjoying spirit is there. The enjoying spirit is the opposite of being enjoyed by Krishna. I think I've said, I told you I was all over the place today, but I thought this is where I wanted to go. Because Krishna consciousness, chanting Hare Krishna is not in a vacuum. It's not the 2 hours. It's not the hour and a half or 2.5 hours. It is not that. It is a commitment to reestablishing a relationship with the Supreme Lord, and his form is Nam-Prabhu. It is the clarity of the fact that we belong to him, and that unless we do something, this is, you know, like people go to Hollywood looking for the big chance, waiting to be discovered. We got discovered, and we're not even in Hollywood. We got discovered, you know, wandering all over the universe. But we got discovered by the servant of the Supreme Lord. So now this is your part. So the whole thing about the Japa, sessions is different from what we've been doing. But according to who you deal with, the whole point is that we are able to communicate. You don't want me to sit here acting like I know something when you know I don't. You know, you want me to be here to share and to get the tools out so that you can use these tools yourself. And by you using these tools, our Sangha becomes stronger. We become committed. We become powerful because we become placed in the hands of the Supreme Lord. So I need some reflections this morning. And if you want to show your smiles, that's good too. Let's go. Let's start with our reflections on the chanting of the holy name.
Hare Krishna, Hare, your obeisances, the voice of Prabhupada.
Good morning, Jay-Z. I see that big heart.
Nice to see you. Yeah, it says I love Kirtan. Yeah, this is from Sadhu Sangha, you know, the shirt. But when you were earlier, when you were going over all the different points, you know, pretty much the anartas, you know, it's my realization when you were going through that, it's not like one or the other that, you know, speaking for myself that I deal with, it's every single one of them, you know, I confront, you know, either at one point or another, or still today, you know, and I don't think that he's missed even a one of them. I mean, they're all there. They're all there. Yeah, for every single one of them. So it's
welcome to the club, John.
Yeah, it's not even a pick and choose. It's like, you know, but so I think he very expertly, you know, listed them out for us so that we can know it's that we're not alone in that, right? We're not alone, that we, you know, even he is the author, obviously deals with them. That's why he's writing, right? To help us.
Well,
but, yeah,
these
really,
are Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains these things, and he doesn't, although Burijan Prabhu expresses them, Burijan Prabhu relates to them. But the point is that, you know, the pure soul will never see himself as anything but fallen.
But
He's the
fallen.
one who puts the most wonderful quote in this book. He says, the living entities, that we're eternal servants of God, and that there's so many of us, in that we are one of the countless insignificant servants of God. And that's all that we can ever be. That is the heaviest statement I've ever heard, you know?
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah.
That consciousness awards us the mercy of the Supreme Lord.
Yeah, it's our constitutional position. There's no changing it, right? That's what it is. But when we live within that, that's the only way we truly find happiness. When we're outside of that, we suffer, right? Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. If we accept and live within that and be servants of Krishna, that's how we find our true, real happiness in this world and, you know, obviously the next.
The real thing, if nothing else, just serve devotees. Serve devotees. Do not criticize devotees. Can you imagine someone who you're trying to get the attention of the Most High, the King, and you're criticizing those who he loves? You're finding fault with those he loves? We're not scoring points. So the first thing is we don't criticize devotees. And the second thing is that we serve the devotees. That is powerful.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's like we're all his sons, right? And even in the material sense, if you talk to a father and you criticize his son, forget it. You know, he immediately dislikes you, you know, from that.
Well, Krishna doesn't dislike you. He just doesn't like anybody, you know, blaspheming his devotees.
Yeah, no, I mean in the
But
material sense.
Radharani,
Yeah.
phew,
Yeah.
you're talking about trouble. Radharani doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Krishna, you know, a lot of times Krishna, we can get past Krishna, but phew, anyway, you get the gist of it. You get the gist of it. If you serve, even if we are envious, if we serve, the envy will go away. If we try to equalize, the envy will become hidden. And it will pop up like bad spurts of anger, or, you know, just keep jumping up at us because we're suppressing it, we're masking it. But if we serve, then we also remember, and this is a huge thing about humility. Humility isn't just a mannerism and expression, it's actually an expression. It's because it's an item of knowledge. A person is humble because a person understands. A person has been blessed with real knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Give up some more stuff if you want.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
We were
Mother.
talking about humility, and you made the point that it doesn't mean it's, you know, you're advocating so low self-esteem or something along those lines.
Yes.
And that is just so true. Being humble doesn't mean you have low esteem, self-esteem, or you take on abuse from others. And more than the humility part, I think the part about being tolerant is what was, it seemed to take more importance today for me, is being tolerant. And we saw how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Nityananda Prabhu actually, was so tolerant. He took the abuse from Jagai and Madhai, but that helped them turn around. And so it depends which stage we are in. But at one point, we will have to be tolerant of that kind of behavior. And that doesn't mean we are somehow we don't have the confidence, or that we have low self-esteem. We're being tolerant so that we can help ourselves and help others get to that next stage. I think tolerance is another quality that we really, really.
Tolerance is huge, Mother. It's, you know, that's one of my favorite verses, Tatenu Kampam Susamikshimano. Because the tolerance, how can you be humble if you don't tolerate, you know? So the tolerance is the test that we must pass. And even if someone does something to you, or says something negative about you, or mistreats you in some way which didn't really warrant that action, then if you step up for yourself, you're thinking that, oh, you know, I don't deserve this. I really don't deserve this. The false egos came through the back door, it took an opportunity to sneak in. And now you're defending some actions when the real situation is, every action has its reaction due to my past sinful activities. But you're so gracious, dear Lord, you've minimized it. Therefore, I need to patiently wait, I need to wait. Thank you for allowing me to see this. And a person who sees that and acts like that, then it's explained liberation becomes his rightful claim. We're not trying to be liberated, but it's his claim. It's given to him because he's there. Look at Lord Jesus Christ. Lord Jesus Christ, his disciples, one of them sold them out, and the other ones are talking, stuff, and oh, he did that. He said, listen, before the cock crows 3 times, or once, you will have denied me 3 times. And what to speak of as the Romans, as they beat him and they did different things to him, he thought, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. He didn't think, those jerks, look what they've done to me. Look what they've done. Do they know who I am? Do they know what I'm trying to do for them? He said, forgive them, Father. Forgive them. Because the mission was to save the fallen souls. Haridas Thakur. Forgive them. Don't forget the mission. We're utensils in the hands of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his servants. Great point, Mother.
So we have a couple hands.
Give them.
Mother Vrindavaneshwari. And then we'll go to Mother Renuka after that.
Hare Krishna. Hare Ashok Prabhu. There was just so much nectar today. I was just really appreciating so many of the points that you brought up. And a couple of reflections. One thing that came to my mind was that no matter how much progress we think we're making, it's like Krishna talks in the Bhagavad Gita about the trappings of the mode of goodness, right? That, pride, prestige, ego, like I'm in the mode of goodness. I'm doing such good things, right? And, when you're talking about defending oneself against an assault or something like that, like, I don't deserve this, I'm doing all these things. And it really, it struck home with me just to think, like, even when we think we're making progress, we have to be so aware of the backdoor false ego to say, but like, look, I'm doing so good now, like things are going good, making progress. We can acknowledge progress, but not get hung up on it, because the backdoor approach with the trappings of the modes of goodness, and it just popped in my head that mode of goodness. I mean, Krishna talks about it in Bhagavad Gita. Like we have to be careful, and it just really hit home for me that that idea of being very careful. When you said even like this, the sadhus, that they don't have the pride or desire for prestige, and that it can be such a tricky, we're walking on this razor's edge all the time.
That's right. It's we're so fortunate, but we're just unaware of our good fortune. This is what happens when you're blessed as they say, by the best. We are a manifestation of the blessing of Srila Prabhupada. I mean, Lord Chaitanya wanted it done. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur he's the pioneer. He realized he needed help, and so he called for a ray of Vishnu, and he got Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was eradicating so much nonsense. He had to excavate, Vaishnavism from where it had gone. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had a disciple, and he told many disciples, he said, if you ever get money, print books. But, and he said, but he told one disciple, if you get a chance, you preach in the English language. The first time he saw him, don't go nowhere, Mother Sita. And so, and because of that, Srila Prabhupada heard that order and he came. He came. He changed the trajectory of all of our lives. Do not become confused. Grand disciple, all of us are shiksha, diksha, equal manifestation of the Lord's mercy. He's there. It is Srila Prabhupada who gave us everything. What kind of man is this? So we offer our obeisances. We're grateful to his divine loving grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila. Yes, Mother, Drana's mother. Who's next?
Mother Renika had her hand up.
Okay, Mother Sita, you must have something today. Mother Renika, let's go.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Today's class was extra refreshing and extra rehabilitating. So I think once in a while you should get sick so you get the best out of it.
But let me tell you one other thing. The thing about the classes is going to change, and I'm going to be more of me because y'all are ready to go more into the holy name. But please, let's not waste time or blow smoke on me.
Sure.
It's not about me.
Yeah, no, I'm coming to the point.
So
I'm coming to the point. Yeah, I'm coming to the point. My million Saturdays in the past 20 years were absorbed in, Saturday morning. Just wake up early in the morning, get your hiking shoes, your backpack, the energy bars, and, map or, the Google Maps. I mean, back then, the maps where you want to go, and enjoy the whole day outdoors and eat somewhere outside, and then, come back in the night around 11 p.m. or so because you have to get back home or things like that. So you are such a miracle man. You're making me such a person like who had like a very different Friday, spending Saturdays and the weekends in a different way. You are the miracle person in my life to make me sit in front of you and with a bunch of other 14, 15 other people doing this japa on a Saturday morning. So the credit goes to you because I know my life in the past and I know how I used to spend my Saturdays. So the credit goes to you. Thanks for your awesome coaching. And thank you. What else can I say? Thank you.
It's exactly what I told you See, I want to explain something. We're going to go deeper, but it's not me. My prayer is I'm begging Krishna to clean me up and to use me. So if something's working for you, you have to understand that it's working because somebody more powerful than me is enabling you to hear from within the heart.
At the moment, I don't get to that point, Prabhuji. At the moment, I only see people. Whom I see is whom I admire.
Right perspective is very important. If we have the right perspective from the beginning, then we don't become so illusioned. The right perspective is that we're all in this together. We're all receiving the mercy is coming down. Some have been here longer, some are short, but all of us are needing each other. And therefore we have different roles to play, but we are all servants. So there's a way to reciprocate in service, but overly glorification isn't really the way because we really want to glorify the holy name. We want to glorify the process by showing, by taking to it, by sharing the reflections of the change of heart that are manifesting within you. That is what we want to do. As you share those reflections, we all hear them, like that bell I used to ring. We know that that's a bell. So because we're all trying, share your reflections, share the pitfalls, the triumphs that you have come through in Krishna consciousness, and that is good enough for us. We all relish, we appreciate it so very much. Okay, Drona.
All right, we're good. So Mother Sita has her hand up.
Yes, Mother Sita.
Muted.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. I just one point I wanted to bring up that has helped me personally. So we were talking about humility and we were talking about tolerance, and Mother Sangeeta taught me this, that when you are going through tough times and when you feel someone is not treating you right, the best thing to do is to pray for that person. And that helps you with relieving your anxiety, relieving whatever you have, that makes you anxious. And when you're like, oh, how can this person do that? I mean, I didn't mean it. I didn't do anything wrong. I was only doing service, I was just, but the anxiety is there. And the anxiety is only relieved is when you start praying for that person who you think is causing disturbance or is not being fair or whatever the reason may be. I mean, all I know is my limited brain could be just telling me wrong things. I could be thinking they're doing wrong, but they're probably doing right anyway, right? So how much do I have faith in my limited brain? So anyway, so that really helped me, and I have been really trying to practice that. Just pray, and I have seen results. I have seen results within me that I'm not anxious anymore. I'm not, unhappy. It doesn't cause any problem because I'm praying for them, So it brings the love. You say you have to love the child. They're the children of your Father, Supreme Father. So brings the love for them, brings, prayers for them, and then you feel the reciprocation, and you feel like, oh wow, the whole scene has changed. So I just wanted to share that. That's all.
Mother, it's so nice. I want to take it further because, Mother Sangeeta is, she's the senior most person here in Philadelphia. She's longer here in Philadelphia longer than anyone else. But she's always helping, and she has to go through so many different things. So this is what happens when you get good association. You see, these are just the side effects that happen. But let's take these obstacles, all these different situations, and let's look at them as Krishna coming. When we say Cheto Darpanaman, cleansing the heart. So as the heart becomes cleansed, we begin in that mirror where we've been reacting with, so much dirt on dirt. Now as the reflections of light, reflections come through, then we can see our shortcomings. We can see as we go from faith to association and bhajana kriya, we're now initiated and we're dead set in anartha nirvritti. So we want to purge ourselves of the unwanted things in our heart. This is Krishna's mercy. He's helping us become detached. He's enabling us to become humble. He's letting us learn tolerance. Well, I don't have these things. Well, you got to learn, pick that weight up. Pick it up again. Come on. Jump over that bar. And before you know it, you are in the rehabilitation. We are becoming rehabilitated in our consciousness, in our habits, in our choice of association, and we're becoming detached because it's too painful to hold on to this crap. And therefore we have knowledge and we become free. So let's start seeing these things as helpers, as help along the way. See ourselves in our true light, tiny servants of Krishna. We've rejected him. We have the opportunity to come back and come closer. We're chanting the mantra. We're associating with people who are chanting the mantra, engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, and we're grateful. It's beautiful, Mother. Wonderful.
Can I add something to that, Hariashva Prabhu?
Of course.
Thank you, Sita Devi, for saying that, because Srila Prabhupada told us, never hate the instrument of your karma. So when you're having a little disagreement with a devotee, or a big disagreement, as the case may be, think of that person like that. They're just an instrument of your karma. And, it's not necessarily that we, oh, he did this, she said that, blah, blah, blah. It is just, it's token karma, actually. Prabhupada said that we're getting, once we're initiated, it's like the guru pulls the plug of the fan, but the fan keeps spinning slowly. So that's your token karma that you receive. Prabhupada told us, it's just to remind you that you're still in the material world. So we get token karma. So we see, the guru, out of the mercy of the guru, we're getting a little bit of karma left, just to remind us, a little reminder every once in a while. Yes, you're still in the material world and there's still suffering, and don't think that you're going to get away from that so easily. You need a reminder here and there. And second of all, don't hate that person. I'm just sending you that person is an instrument to remind you also. These are reminders that you're still here, you're still in this world, and you need to get your act together, basically. So yeah, that's just a couple of things I wanted to add. Thank you.
So wonderful. So devotees, let's do something. Next week we're going to go further. By Gaur Pranim, I'm going to try to close before Gaur Pranim. We'll close with the last, stanzas, the last Shastika prayers. And it's just so amazing, because we're looking at Lord Chaitanya, that as these came out, Lord Chaitanya was just, he was going mad. He was in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So anyway, I'll give more emphasis on that later. But I would like you to reflect on where you were when we started this journey and where it has taken you. And also, and this is not for others, this is for us individually, and where you would like to go. Where you would like to go in this devotional journey with your chanting and hearing. And all the different things the tools that you have in your kit, survey your toolkit. Think of those 9 keys, they're important. Think of the different things that we found in Nam Rahasya. Think of the Japa Reform notebook and the high points or the low points that came up for us. So as you reflect like this, you'll find out that you have so much more than you had. And with this kind of determination, let's make a sankalpa, let's make a determination to become one of the best groups of devotees who chant japa. We should shoot for something. I have to share one thing to you before I close. I was going to teach from a book, The Living Names. And The Living Names was a very exciting book for me. It is, to my estimate, it is the best. But when it first started in The Living Names, it has this part called alignment. And the alignment was the line in the body, mind, and the heart. And then it goes to other different, and it was different for me from what Prabhupada had instructed. Although Maharaj used it, so many quotes, he substantiated everything he did from Srila Prabhupada, but I didn't have that kind of faith. And I didn't have that kind of faith as this being necessary to improve our japa, because I thought, well, you know, if this is true, the whole way that we approach chanting japa is going to have to change. I said, there's a lot of senior devotees. I said, you know, there was just so many things. I said, we're going to have to change our entire outlook on japa. So I didn't say anything about it. And I love the book. I tell you, to me, it's the best. But I came to understand that I was wrong. That I believe it is true that we will have to change our approach to chanting the holy name of the Lord. I think we have to become more sober. We have to become more aware that we're meeting Krishna. When you go in the temple room to see the deity, when you go on the altar to bathe, whatever, you prepare yourself, you prepare your consciousness, you get ready. But we do so many things where we can chant maybe 4 good rounds or 3, but then so much is unconscious. But to be fixed, to really get the result of the holy name, what is the harm? And making sure that sit properly, as Srila Prabhupada used to say, that I sit down however I'm gonna sit, but I sit properly. And that I'm aware that I'm about to meet Krishna. I'm aware that I've abandoned him. I'm aware that the relationship needs to be reunited, redeveloped. It's a broken relationship. So with that awareness and being engaged in his service, I should approach him humbly. Radha, Krishna, please, I'm sorry. But please forgive me. You know what I've done more than I do. But please, from today, you know, I commit myself as your eternal servant. Please instruct me. I want to hear from you. My mind is always speaking. My desires, my senses always, but I want to hear from you. Please direct me, instruct me. Please give me your association. In order to get that, we have to stay fixed. Vyavasadatmika buddhi. We have to fix our intelligence. We have to fix our determination so that we're resolute in purpose. If we do that, we get better. So I think we have to change our approach to japa. I think japa has become very, very sober, very serious, very connected. That's all. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thanks so very much. Krishna, Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Hariyashra Prabhu, and all the devotees for making this a special morning. It's just to remind the devotees, we have a Sunday feast program tomorrow. We have Mother Sudevi who's going to be speaking to us on the Bhagavad Gita.
Sudevi.
Yep. So please tune in tomorrow at 5. We hope to see you throughout the week also in our various programs in the morning and then the evening as well. Okay, we can conclude here. Everybody have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Again, our gratitude to you, Hariyashra Prabhu, and to all
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
glories to Srila Prabhupada. Panchakopatarubhyascha.
Itanam Panavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
One question, Hariyashra Prabhu, real quick. What color are the deities' doties?
Black.
Black, okay. Sometimes we can't tell because of the lighting and things like that.
They're wearing
look like
black
they were black,
devotees, cream tops, cream, yeah. I put black and cream on them. Wait, you know, me and my sister are going to go get that cloth. Wait, Gaur Praneem, call the police. Marty's sponsored the outfit. Woo, Jesus.
And we're working on a way to broadcast them a little bit better so they're more clear on Zoom too. So we've got things in the works there to make sure they come through more clearly.
But I want to give one shout out to Mother Sita. Mother Sita, did you like the flowers today?
Yes,
I was on the floor. Mother Sita just does so many things so quietly. And I was so grateful this morning. I said, you know, Vishnu, I couldn't use those flowers before. I said, but Mother Sita left those flowers. I said, look at those flowers. I'll just start making my garden, you know? So I like to thank the devotees, not to put you on spots like Mother Renika thought, but I like to thank the devotees because in my heart, I appreciate you. You know, because, you know, you think something bad, you say, oh, so-and-so's a jerk. I can't. So when I appreciate, why can't I say thank you? And let others understand that I appreciate so much. Glory to Prabhupada.
One quick darshan of the
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri
Nanda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Ram, 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 Hare Hare.